A very good morning and a warm welcome to all the educators present out there. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. And this time we are getting into anger free schools. Quite an interesting topic from various perspectives because it's emotions related. There are hardly times when we actually get to work upon the emotional and social aspect of our day to day life, especially when it comes to teaching. Now, when we talk about teaching and learning, the maximum importance is always given to either the knowledge acquisition or cultivating the skills with respect to a particular knowledge. But what really matters is the third component, which is called as knowledge, skills, and the third, attitude. I think most of you are able to hear me. If you're not able to hear me, teachers, I would humbly request you to please check your audio connections. With respect to knowledge, skills, and attitude, there was this great personality, I would say, great scientist, I would say, Dr. Benjamin Bloom, who actually worked upon this area and said that everything boils down to these three factors called as knowledge, skills, and attitude. And in detail, he mentioned about knowledge to be the cognitive domain, skills to be the psychomotor domain, and attitude to be the affective domain. And based on that, the learning hierarchies were actually defined. Now, here in this case, exactly, it's competency based. You're absolutely right. So, here in this case, what we're going to do is understand what exactly is anger free schools. Why was it announced by CBSE to all the schools like this is anger free zone? And we'll also understand the productivity that can be imbibed with respect to anger free areas, and also try to understand those triggers and mechanism with which we can control our anger. It's quite an interesting topic because this is the most relatable considering the pressure that we undergo on a day-to-day basis in a school setup. Well, my name is Vasudevan Natarajan, and at Super Teacher, we conduct Super Sunday workshops on a regular basis every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Or for all the people who are joining for the first time, we also provide you the certificates right after the completion of the session in a week's time. I mean, it keeps on getting sent, and some people receive it, some people don't. If you do not receive it, you can please mail it to swati@superteacher.in. You'll definitely receive it if you meet two criterias. The first criteria is the score on the reflection form that comes right after the session should be 7 and above. That means 70% and above. There'll be 10 questions. 7 questions has to be answered correctly. Trust me, it's very simple. You can easily score 7 and above. If not, I would request you to please sit in groups and then discuss and then answer all the questions. And this particular task of getting 7 and above can happen only before 6 o'clock on the same day. That is by today, 6 p.m. You should be able to complete it. When we do these two things, the certificates are issued to all the people. In order to create the exposure and bring some awareness on various education related topics, Super Sunday workshops have become a tradition and culture at Super Teacher. And it's my, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the people who have been consistently participating, and hope we are adding value to 1 hour that you spend with us, that too on a Sunday, and amidst a lot of busy schedules, especially taking away the time from your family. I hope we are not here to disturb you. I hope this brings some amount of knowledge, skills, and attitude in you in order to have a better teaching learning transaction in the classroom. With that, let me continue with the anger free schools. And in case if anybody is angry for attending Super Sunday workshop, today is the right day to attend this session actually. Let's quickly continue. No, no. You'll get it, Amapreet, ma'am. Everybody will get the certificate for sure. It just sometimes it takes time, considering only one person being, working on this. Swati over there. I just speak and go away, and everything is on Swati, so she needs to work on. So let's quickly get into it. Have you ever come across a situation where this particular aspect of anger? It's quite complicated, right? Some people will be like, "Iska chehra dekhte hi mujhe gussa aata hai." It's like the moment I look at your face, I get angry. It's sometimes it could be somebody from your family, or it could be somebody from uh, you know um, the school setup or the work area, wherever it is. And surprisingly, anger as an emotion has got the same level of intensity, right, for a child and even for an adult. Only thing is, the maturity the maturity of an anger with the way you handle differs from age to age. But the level of anger, when you get into the intensity or magnitude part of anger, it's kind of same for everyone. So if you see a child playing the tantrums on getting that particular toy from the market with the parent, and you fighting for a leave with your principal, and the principal does not allocate, both are considered to be the same. Now, this whatever I'm going to speak today, teachers, everything is going to be from a certain website, renowned websites out there. I'm going to give you the complete details as well. I would request you to please go through these, references, and you'll get to learn a lot more. And a lot of windows got open to me when I was preparing for this particular session over the last complete week. Let's quickly get on with the teachers. I would like to. Audio is low, ma'am. Please check your speakers, ma'am. I think it's loud enough. It is on my ears. So one, two, and three. I think you'll be able to see the screen. Yeah. So anger-free schools, anger-free zone. Now, why did CBSE do this? Please watch this. So actually, this happened in the year 2019, and there was a circular subject making our schools anger-free, no anger zones. So let's quickly open that and have a look at it. And this was targeted to the leaders. So here in this case, they are school leaders. Let me zoom it a little bit for everyone to see it properly. Yeah, where is it? All of us will agree that a joyful learning environment and a happy school can do wonders for the holistic development of our children. Absolutely. A learning abode like a school must be devoid of any kind of negativity so that we can contribute to make our world a better place for our children by infusing positivity in everything around them. Government of India has recently launched Fit India program. I think most of you know that. We even discussed on it so that we can contribute in everything around the government. Fitness of body is closely linked to fitness of mind. Of course, a fit mind is a creative mind and is capable of contributing to society. Anger is detrimental to fitness. How nicely the emotion of anger is brought to fitness. Long term effects of uncontrolled anger include increased anxiety, high blood pressure, and headache. And I think I should add another point, probably reduced lifespan. Long term effects of uncontrolled anger include anxiety, high blood pressure, and headache. The board has decided to take up this area of holistic health and fitness in an innovative manner. Nice. What is that innovative manner? Therefore, the Central Board of Secondary Education, as a part of its thrust is basically the pressure on joyful education and holistic fitness, urges all its affiliated schools and its school leaders to make efforts to convert all CBSE schools into a no anger zone or anger free zone, something like that. So you could have some poster kind of a thing stuck on the notice boards, or right outside the school gate you can have anger free zone, so that if a parent is really infused with some anger with the school, look at the board and be careful about what you're going to speak, something like that. In this anger free zone, everyone will try to manage his or her anger, including the students, whether it is the school educators, parents, school personnel, and other stakeholders. The best way to teach children the value of freedom from anger. Listen, anger is more like uh, an external being captivating you. It's maybe captivate is a good word on a positive aspect, but you get caged. So that's why that word called as freedom of anger is by setting examples ourselves. Some of the simplest changes that could be undertaken for making school an anger-free zone include genuinely smiling at students and teachers. We do that, right? I do not know. Sometimes you smile, to dig gaya to, you just smile as a sarcastic manner and you go away. Hey, well, that's a very nice part of anger. I'll talk about that as well. Talking to students and everyone, smiling at students and teachers, talking to students and everyone around them calmly, not looking at cell phones all the time. Very good point. Practicing breathing exercise by all, practicing mindfulness, giving 20 minutes to self, etc. These three statements itself provide great insights on how to manage anger. Let's understand that in detail. There can be several other ways to create an anger free zone. Making our schools anger free zones will help our students in developing affective skills, knowledge, skills, and attitude, cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain, and in eradicating emotions like fear, disrespect, humiliation, and hurt, which are the byproducts of anger. This change in the school environment will help our children become more mentally active and emotionally wealthy. Nice, no? Emotionally wealthy. They shall go back home more charged and happy, and definitely will want to return to the schools the next day. Anyway, so this is with respect to the implementation plan. Considering this to be a CBSE circular, I'm reading it completely. That's it. Children are the harbingers of change. Change begin from them. What they learn in the school, they will teach that to their parents. Yeah, it happens. Imagine children going home and telling the parents, "You're not allowed to be angry." This way, both school and home will have a happy environment for them. Therefore, as a part of this initiative, schools must also take up exercises with children to help them overcome their own anger issues and also empower them with tools so that they can help others overcome their anger issues. They also talk about one very nice thing in this area, teachers. They say that Sometimes anger is quite positive. It's like, uh, okay, you said that I can't do something, right? Let me prove you wrong. Something like that. People call that as a negative motivation as well. But yeah, how to look at it is a different perspective altogether. Let's understand it. CBSE has mandated to reserve one period per day for health and physical education, and also integrate various forms of art while transacting the curriculum for all the classes. Through various kinds of sports activities, yoga, and art integrated classes, you can create a joyful learning environment in your schools, which would subsequently reduce instances of anger. Simply put, create a joyful environment in your schools to decrease anger issues. That's it. So here in this case, place signage board. This is an anger-free zone at reception area, strategic locations in school. Take up teacher mentoring on this area. All those counselors and psychologists who are present in the school, I think they are the people to whom we have to look up to, as they have done a detailed study on emotions. Take up exercises with children in assembly, sport or art period, classrooms, labs, etc. Actually, there used to be a time when in the assembly, right after the prayer, you have got series of activities: thought for the day, word for the day, and in some schools they even have joke of the day, something like that. So you could have an witty joke out there with respect to a particular subject, and that could create a gentle smile before everybody goes into the class. Actually, smile reduces a lot of anger. We'll talk about that. Record experiences. Announce on social media that you are endeavoring to become an anger-free school by using hashtag CBSE no anger. Are you marketing your school or CBSE? Do not know, but that's okay. Recognize and reward improvement in this area. So this is with respect to the initiatives that somebody can take with respect to the CBSE announcement. I would like to stop share the screen for a few seconds. History of the day. Okay, you do that. Okay, being a role model. Okay, interesting. One second. Yeah, my audio seems to be fine. Please check it, ma'am. So now coming to the main point of anger. So teachers, with respect to anger, anger is something that is that cannot be taught by someone else. It has to be self triggered. So before actually going forward, I would like to mention something really clearly, that we are getting into the world of emotions, and the way we handle emotions, everybody has got their own experiences. Some people, when they really feel sad, they eat a lot. Some people, when they really feel sad or angry, they go for a car drive or a bike ride. Some people, when they really feel sad or angry, they go and do a lot of shopping. I'm talking about my wife over here. It's a huge expenditure, a very costly affair. Let's not stick to that. Anything else is completely fine. Food is still good, but shopping, no. So the point here is everybody can handle this with respect to their own way and algorithm. So today, whatever we're going to discuss is not something to speak from you have to do this or you have to do that. No, it is not about an opinion. It is about the awareness that we are angry. The moment the fact that we are angry is accepted for everyone, then comes the next step of what did actually trigger me? What can I do in order to avoid this? And anger is always let out in multiple formats. Sometimes jealousy leads to anger. Sometimes comparison with a peer leads to anger. Sometimes a poor circumstance at home, something that you desire but that's not there. That the want of something creates anger. Importantly, hunger creates a lot of anger. So all these things are anger triggers, and everybody might have their own way of dealing with it. Whatever we are going to talk today is going to be just a representation of what could be done, and let us see how many of us relate to it. Joke of the day is perfect. Okay. laughter exercise will Laughter exercise will help is a very good point. And what's really funny and interesting is there is this Lal Bagh here in Bangalore, and every day morning, there are some people out there who randomly, stand in a circle and they start laughing like anything. They deliberately do that, and it's a great exercise even as per yoga. But I think indirectly, the activity of all of us standing together and laughing conveys the message that we used to laugh like that back in those days. These days we have forgotten. So probably let us forcibly laugh. It's a sad part, but that's really deep. So instead of an activity like that, how about getting back with the family? How about meeting the friends again? Or how about making time to allow people to come home? When I was in a joint family system, I was back in those days. We used to really feel loved and excited when somebody's coming home. But right after I do not know when this change happened. And now if anybody comes home, we are scared about it. Oh, somebody's coming home, relatives are coming. Oh my god, I need to cook, I need to buy the best things, I need to keep my house clean and neat and flaunt about the new sofa that we purchased, this and that. When did this change happen? I clearly don't have any idea, but it happened. I am able to really feel that, at least in my home. Let's understand where this is actually coming from, teachers. And it's a very interesting point that CBSE brought out, which was never expected altogether: giving importance to the affective domain. I'm sharing my screen and going on with the slides one by one, and we'll also get into some videos. So anger is defined under 5 areas, and these are the type of anger. Let's see how many of you relate to this. Okay. So the first one: anger is an emotional response to perceived threats, frustration, or injustice, and the reason could be anything. Look at this forms of anger. First is passive anger. Now some people, they show themselves as really calm and quiet and peaceful inside, but they will be really angry. Such people have got great abilities to show passive anger. For example, sarcasm. Silent treatment. Whenever a child is not done the homework or continuously indisciplined, the teacher will not shout. This kind of teacher will simply stare at the student like this continuously from 30 seconds, 1 minute. They don't care until the child becomes completely uh-huh, uh, you know quiet and sits in one place. This teacher will continuously stare. Have you done that? If you've done that, you can put it on the chat. And then procrastination, I'll talk about it. Another relatable example is that the other day, my wife was mentioning to my mother, stating that it becomes really difficult to take care of the child and also work on a daily basis. I'm so tired, so I woke up late today, something like that. She was telling it to my mother. My mother was like immediately, yeah, you are very tired, daily wake up early in the morning at around 11 o'clock or 12 noon, you will be perfectly fine. She said with complete smile and all charm that she generally has. And it was so sarcastic. It took really 30 seconds for me to even digest what did she actually mean. Wake up daily in the morning at around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, everything will be fine. Now, this particular aspect is called as passive anger. I hope you're able to understand. By the way, double quotes, whatever I'm referring from my personal family, incidents are something completely made up and purely, not at all intentional. If it is getting related to some of your families, it's purely coincidental. Just a disclaimer. And then comes the next aspect called as the aggressive anger. Now, the aggressive anger is an interesting part where, why it is interesting, because you know that the other person is angry. It's like you yell at the person, you sometimes even try to beat the other person, then this verbal abuse. It's the clear, concise, and a simple form of anger, aggressive anger. You know that the other person is angry, which is really neat. It is really nice. Yeah. Now coming to the third point called as assertive anger. Now assertive anger with respect to a controlled way of scolding someone. Last week you promised me that you will take to the PT period, but this time again you are taking it for substitution to teach us maths. Ma'am, this time we have to go for the PT period. This particular anger is straight away talking about the reason of anger and also a solution to it. Now, that is called as assertive anger. So a solution, for example, from family perspectives, it could be: last weekend you said that we'll go out for a dinner, and this weekend again you're saying that you're busy, no, nothing doing. Today we are going for the dinner, and I'll pay for the dinner, something like that. Now here in this case, there is the discussion of some commitment, the reason for anger, and also the solution towards it. Nice, right? So this is good, assertive anger. Third and the fourth, sorry, fourth is chronic anger, which is like not really let out much. It is always kept internally for a very long time until it creates a lot of harm to your body. Scientifically, anger actually increases stress. And there's something called as cortisols in the body that gets secreted. Like the level of cortisol goes really very high. And this stress hormones, basically, once they increase, they start, in order to in order to work with the stress hormone, the heart has to really pump very fast. Sometimes you would have seen that when you get really angry, uh, there is this palpitation that starts happening. You kind of start shivering a little bit, and sometimes that doesn't get controlled. Even after you shout and everything is over, still you will be continuing in the same shivering mode, or it's more traumatic in nature. That is chronic anger, that results in severely affecting your health. That's bad. Self-inflicted anger is the most dangerous, and I would say it's like a plague in the country, especially in India. And I think most of the teachers will be able to relate to this. It's about directed inwards. This particular thing happened only because of me. That particular thing happened because of me. I'm not at all good in my life. I've done such a terrible thing to my, child or to the school. That's really very bad. This is directly related to something called as guilt. So guilt, sometimes we think it to be a nice quality. Oh, I'm guilty about something, so I'll be proper in future. No, having guilt is having anger on yourself. So that itself is very wrong. So according to the Castle, which is one of the websites I'll talk about, which talks about social and emotional learning. The parasite that we have in our body, which emotionally is basically the guilt aspect that we have on a day-to-day basis. So guilt and regret, both are very closely related, are two important areas that we need to work on before going forward with anything. So when anger is assertive, it is respected. Why our anger is not respected? No, anger will never be respected because anger is always authoritative. You're not at the same tone of voice. So let's understand that in a detailed manner. For a teacher, assertive anger is the best. Okay. By the way, this is not a multiple choice question to choose which anger is the best teachers. According to the CBSE rules over here, assertive anger should also not be there. So we are talking towards that area. So it is like when I say assertive anger is kind of the best out of these. It's like out of all these negativities, the least negative is assertive anger. But still, it is negative, na? I hope you're able to understand. Some people eat chocolates when they are angry. So aggressive anger directly relates to something that you can easily see and note in a particular person. A child did not do the homework. You've been asking the child to do regularly, but the child is not doing. You get angry. You ask the child to immediately get out of the class. The child knows that you're angry, and that is aggressive anger. Suppose you don't show any anger over here, and when the exams come, you reduce the internal marks of that particular child. I think then that is not, aggressive anger. That will get into passive anger or assertive anger. Could be. Who knows? That's bad. Yeah. So positive anger is needed while in class to rectify the child. Maybe Ganga ma'am, but according to CBSE, even that is supposed to be avoided right now. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Now, this is with respect to manifestations of anger. Please watch this in students and in educators. So there are four signs with which you can see that somebody is angry. First is behavioral signs: aggression, defiance, tantrums, withdrawal. So aggression is something that where there is uh, aggressive behavior on everything. It's like they don't handle things delicately. It's harsh. There is, whenever they go and sit in the bench, they will make sure the bench is banged and then they sit properly. So there is an aggression over there. Defiance and withdrawal come very closely. That it's like uh, the things that they used to do regularly that they really like, they'll stop doing it deliberately to hurt themselves. So these are something related to behavioral science. In fact, in Tari Zameen Par movie, that boy stops drawing after a point of time, though art was his area of passion. So that's with respect to behavioral science. Tantrums, so I want this, I want that, something like that. Emotional science is something with respect to irritability. You're not able to find the factor, what really caused the anger over there. So irritability is there, frustration is there, a lot of anxiety. You can see the child that they're always nervous while they're sitting on a bench. They keep waving their legs and arms. Something unsolved is still going on in their mind. Sometimes emotional signs also relate to crying a lot. And here in this case, when we talk about crying, it's not wrong. Sometimes some people say that after crying I really feel better. Is there anyone out there like that? You just got a heated argument with your principal or a leader. You immediately go out of the school, you cry for some time, you come back, you feel refreshed. If you are one of them, you can say on the chat. It's really great to accept someone who can really cry. Crying is good. Crying is good, both for boys and the girls. It's just that girls do it easily, but somehow boys tears just do not come out that easily. I tried. Okay. Cognitive science is negative thinking, blaming others, difficulty concentrating. Now, this is the place where cognitive science, rather than saying negative thinking, I would come up with a word called as poor listening skills. So, the moment we talk about anger from cognitive perspectives, somebody who is really angry or has got into the habit of becoming angry. People say them to be short tempered and things like that, right? They get into very poor listening skills. And when you do not listen, you are kind of creating a barrier for yourself for any input to come from outside. And when there is no input, the brain can't really process new things. So the brain, what it does is uses the same information that's there in the brain and keeps on repeating that in a loop. That is why you'll see that sometimes when people are angry, they say the same statement at least in five different forms. I'm not happy with you. I really don't like standing besides you. I really don't like going out with you. I really don't. I hate the fact that I'm living with you. All these are same statements, but it is getting repeated again and again. Why? Because anger has created a fantastic barrier which makes our brain repeat the same things multiple times. So poor listening skills, negative thinking, blaming others are directly related to cognitive science. In fact, when you talk about cognitive signs of anger, there's something really interesting about deliberately going on a social media and writing something bad about someone. In India today, if somebody's really affected with respect to cyberbullying, it is because of all those nonsense comments that come on the chat and create disturbance to the people out there. Recently, a girl from Malaysia passed away because of that. I think she was hardly 20 years old, not even 20 years, if I'm not wrong. And that's because of cyberbullying. Why do you do that? Because you are angry on yourself, you have low self-esteem, you have anger on something that is unresolved, and you let it out on someone. People need help like that. Physical signs: tense muscles, clenched fists. The fists are always like this, flushed face. It's like you don't smile at all, and rapid breathing. This generally happens. So sometimes people say that in order to avoid, anger over here, you can get into a game that involves a lot of physical frustration. Like you can get into football or running race, or it could be cricket or whatever it is, or even badminton for that matter. It really controls your hormones to quite a large extent. The cortisols, the stress hormones are dealt with properly. Then comes educators, which is most of us. We know that behavioral signs, again, yelling, impatience, sarcasm, punitive actions in the sense something that's puny, that need not have been done. uh Let me take an example of a child. Sometimes when they are angry, they write something bad about their friends on the bench. Here, something like that. A teacher going and marking somebody else's on the register that she was absent, or writing comment and sending message to the principal or the HOD, or principal sending a message to the management stating that so and so is not right. All these are punitive actions, something that goes behind the back. Behavioral signs, right? Emotional signs: burnout, frustration, feeling overwhelmed. I think emotional signs is the most visible with respect to the teachers out there. You can see that when the number of periods, from out of 8 periods, if I consider generally 8 to 9 periods, if more than 6 periods on a day-to-day basis, if you're occupied continuously, just imagine, for every day, it creates a lot of frustration. How about one of the days 4 periods, the other day 5 periods, and one day in a week can be 8 periods also, if this is the mechanism. So effectively, the total number of periods are the same in a week, approximately 30 to 35 periods. But if that crosses nearly 40 or 41 or 42, oh my God, it becomes very difficult for a teacher to manage the anger. So that is with respect to burnout. You can see that on the face. When a teacher joins a school full of brightness, by the time when the teacher has completed 2 or 3 years in the school, then it's a different scenario. But this is being dealt fantastically in many schools. At least wherever I have gone, I've seen that anger is really dealt decently. But yeah, what happens inside, I really do not know. With respect to cognitive science: negative self-talk, blaming students, loss of enthusiasm; physical signs: fatigue, headaches, increased heart rate, and muscle tension. So these are some of the things with respect to what a teacher can undergo, and these are the signs of anger. Now, here in this case, what is a solution to not get angry is only one thing, teachers. That is called as keeping quiet, keeping silent. When we are aware about that you're going to get angry, by looking at all these signs, knowing that this is going to be the trigger. Some people now, when they're about to get angry, they recognize that they're going to get angry and immediately take an action. For example, my father, whenever he gets angry, this is true, immediately he will get out of the house. He will not be there in the house, because if he's there in the house, I'm pretty sure he's going to scold my mother, me, like anything, and we are going to be hurt. So That has happened multiple times, and say he came up with a methodology to just get out. Some teachers do the same thing. When they're there in the class, the students are really irritating the teachers, they get angry. Instead of asking the children to go out, they go out. And I've seen this with multiple teachers doing it, and they directly go to the principal. Ma'am, I'm not able to handle this class today, some problem in me, give me just 10 to 15 minutes, I'll go back to the class, something like that. So this has happened at many places. Some people, the moment they get angry, they have the chewing gum, they put it in the mouth and they keep chewing it. That could also be one method, but it's all something self-directed. So you can decide. What's really important is being in the acceptance that I'm about to get angry. There's another nice fact that's mentioned in the social emotional learning of American philosophy of social and emotional intelligence, that the moment, the day when you come to know what other person is going through, the empathy factor, you really become too attached and your anger fades away like anything. And for this, I really wanted to show a very good, video out there, and that looks something like this. I would like to share the screen, teachers. You'll be able to see the screen in 3. I'll not play the complete video, considering it to be kind of 4 to 5 minutes. And this is how it looks like. I hope you're able to see the screen. Not yet. Why? Give me a moment. I hope you'll be able to see this. Great. So that was basically an advertisement for a clinic or a hospital out there, and perfect, example of what each one besides us is actually going through. And it's important to realize that while we talk to someone, we're not just talking to that some person as a human body and flesh. That particular person is carrying a lot of emotions, would have gone through a lot of things in their life, happy, sad, and everything. And when we really relate to that, then things become really different while talking to them. So this was with respect to an empathetical aspect. And the moment we know what they are going through, what they actually feel, or they could feel, or they might feel, our approach is completely different. Sometimes when the other person is really irritating and you know that this person is out of control, probably instead of getting into a zone of anger, how about getting them some help? And help could be something directly related to counseling. Maybe they don't open up to you. How about having them, getting into introduced to someone who's there in the school who can really help them come out of it? That's how counselors came into picture, right? So this particular part of empathy really takes another vision or way of looking at things before getting angry. Now let us quickly look into this particular factor of how to deal with that in the school, now especially with the students. And when we talk about students, it really becomes very difficult for a teacher to give them instructions on, control your anger. No, you can't say that. Let me show that to you, and you'll be able to see the screen in 3, 2, 1. Great. So strategies for managing anger. The first one is the self-regulation techniques for students and educators. And I think most of you actually said this and you all know about it. It's the deep breathing exercises. The moment you deep breathe, it's like a lot of oxygen gets inside your body, and it really works very well to calm yourself. That is why people believe in yoga, and they say that breathing exercise improves your emotional state and whatnot. In fact, there are a lot of movies which recommend this. It's like when you get angry, just keep quiet, keep calm, breathe, count to 1 to 10, or mostly 10 to 1, and breathe for every count, or something like that. And by the time it's 1 or 10 in any direction, you would have seen that you are completely calm. Have a medicine given to you. Maybe it's just, there's one story about Buddha where an old lady is really angry and she goes to the monk, who is basically Buddha, and says that I really get a lot angry. I want to control my anger. Could you please help me? Buddha gives a bottle of medicine basically, and says that you just have these 4 drops of medicine every day in the morning, and you'll be completely anger free in about 1 week or 2 weeks. And this lady follows that. And next week she comes back to Buddha and says that, thank you so much. I really worked out on my anger. This medicine works like a miracle. I'm not angry at all these days. And Buddha very calmly, the way he is, whatever defines him, very nicely says that whatever I gave you was actually just the water and not any medicine. And you just had 4 drops of water and you were able to control. So the point here is anger can never be cured or controlled by an external force. It has to be self-directed. So it's here in this case, you actually took an initiative to not be angry, and that's how you were able to manage it. So this is one area where you can assume that you're having some sort of a medicine. Yeah, it's kind of difficult when you know that you are not actually having a medicine, but yeah, try to do something like that. So counting to 10 to regain composure. Physical activity, encourage physical activity to release tension, especially games in schools really works very well. Staff room, teachers who are sitting in the staff room, and if that's a free period, it's really better to go and meet the PT sir, or go to the PT room and just play around with the balls or the bats that's present out there. Do something, but play. Playing physically really releases a lot of tension. PT sir is always. Have you ever seen a PT sir angry at the fellow teachers? Very rare. They'll always be smiling. They'll not worry about a principal's serious speech, and they'll not be very casual about something very light as well. So they're like always happy. Similarly, pre-primary teachers and primary teachers always happy. Very difficult. Only this matter comes when it's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Sometimes the regular interaction with the students on a serious mode makes you also very serious. It's very important for a teacher who takes higher classes to at least have one period with first or second standard student. Now this is purely my suggestion, can be completely stupid, but you can ignore that. So journaling is another interesting area. Writing down feelings to understand and manage them better. Do not be embarrassed to write your journal. And if you're really embarrassed to show it to or share it with someone, keep it somewhere logged. In fact, these days diaries come with log as well. You know that, right? Importance of mindfulness and relaxation, meditation, regular meditation sessions to reduce stress. Most schools have that in the assembly right in the morning. You have to close your eyes and have the deep breathing exercise. Visualization is fantastic. Imagining a peaceful place to calm down. So this can be anything, by the way. When we talk about a particular teacher will say that close your eyes. Now you're all imagining something. You're imagining as if you got the wings on your back. Now these wings are fluttering gradually. You're flying in the sky. Now you're just there on the top of the globe or earth and you're able to see the people, this and that. They see that and people imagine that. So if you have got very good imagination skills or visualization skills, you generally are a very calm person. Progressive muscle relaxation, it's basically tensing and relaxing muscle groups to reduce tension. There are some devices for that. I had it. So yeah, you just I think the smiley ball is given to many people. Have you? I do not know. So generally, counselors, whenever you feel angry, just keep on pressing this and relax your muscles. Karke they say that. That's what they mean to say here, I guess. Practical classroom management strategies: active listening, calm communication, and timeout. So here in this case, show empathy and listen to the students' concerns whenever they say something. Of course, you have a calm and gentle tone when addressing these issues. If you really have a deep baritone out there, then that calm communication, I don't know how you will establish, but you could do that. Timeout, provide a break for students to cool down. That could be done. And these are some of the things that you already do. I don't think so. I'm in a better position to say that this could be done. But anyways, going to kindergarten, seeing kids can easily kill your anger. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I do this. They love it and ask most of the time to do it again. Fantastic, fantastic. So these are some of the things with which you can stay calm, teachers. Anger free. Stay silent is the most effective. Very difficult to do these days. You've got the fantastic things of good headphones. You've got the earpods. You just put inside. You can't hear anything outside. So the moment you know that you're going to get angry or you're becoming the victim of an anger, it's best to put the headphones and just go out, listen to some calm nice songs and come back. And then anger fades away with direction and purpose. So once the children have a certain goal in their life, a teacher has a serious goal to attain in their life, a principal has some motto for the school, a vision of the school, then small petty things will never affect you. The moment you have direction and purpose, anger automatically fades away. So it's very important for every one of us to have some purpose, some direction to stick on to whenever something is distracting. And anger is a very heavily influential distraction that we have in our life. Empathy is something that we just now saw. And one last thing before concluding, teachers, this particular aspect of anger or any emotion uh, gets better and better with practice. Now, what do we mean by that? So, practice makes a man perfect. We all know about that, right? It need not be only, good practice. It could be the bad habits also having their own practice. So, for example, you get into a bad habit and you just began. You can easily come out of it. One day you can come out of it. 2 days, okay, manageable, you can come out of it. But once you practice that for 1 week, you become so good at it that coming out of it becomes difficult. And for any negative habit that you became habituated to, it's called as addiction. But that addiction can be positive as well, right? Addiction to wake up early in the morning at 5 a.m. and open the book and study, or sitting late night till 1 o'clock and studying. It could be anything. It could be your choice, your way of working. But an addiction can be both in positive and negative aspect. I hope you're getting the perspective, teachers. So right after the practice, another which is the same thing. It's like pay it forward. This is another area where people say that when you really want to avoid anger, focus on happiness. So focus on happiness. What makes you happy? For example, for me, if I help someone, if I conduct a very good session, I really feel happy about it because people are impacted out of it. When we go to the temple or any holy place, when you come out, you feed a pet animal or somebody who is really in need, that gives you happiness. So when you do that, it has to be forwarded. What do I mean by that? Let's have one concluding video, teachers, and then we can carry on with our reflection form. For that, let me share my screen. And these are the websites from where today's references were taken. Well, we did not touch upon the deep aspects of anger, considering this is not really an anger session. It's more from anger free zone school perspective. So Edutopia has got a fantastic article. American Psychological Association, APA. most of the information actually got taken from APA today. Mindful Schools, and then Castle. So the Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning website is one of the perfect website for anyone who wants to understand what is social and emotional learning. It's a deep website. We might touch upon one of the Super Sunday workshops probably in the month of October on Castle. Yeah, let's see that, or social and emotional learning. Then Positive Action provides programs and resources for promoting positive behavior in schools, and that's again another website. So teachers, in order to know the regular Super Sunday workshops, you can actually check up the upcoming events of the Super Teacher website. You'll get to know that. But let me show you the final video. It'll give you a good conclusion. Please watch this. I think some of you would have actually watched this. anger-free schools and anger-free zones, basically. And everybody can have their own method of managing their anger. But what's really important is to be aware about the fact of it. And it can really kill us in multiple angles. It can kill, it can ruin relationships. Anger is more like a trap. You just get trapped into that. Then freedom from it has become, it'll become a very difficult task. Well, that's what was the ultimate reason for the schools to become anger free zones. Not to yell at the students, not to yell at the parents not yelling at the teachers, and having an awareness in multiple uh, you know so when your head is a dumb person and when your decisions for betterment of students gets affected by fluctuations in their thought process. Vijay Gupta said that's an interesting question. um, you can't really categorize someone, or that's what. So the moment you talk about anger management, while there are many methods out there, something that you create for yourself works the best. It's like if I say to someone that, ma'am, eat chocolates when you get angry, doesn't really mean that that'll work for the person. So it's something that you should be mindful about. And the moment we're mindful about that we are about to get angry, take some steps, and that leaves a lasting impact. Like, yes, let's be aware about it, something like that. So yeah, the session will be present on the YouTube channel as well of Super Teacher Official. The channel details are coming on the chat right now by our team members. Um, you can't eat or chew in the class, Samira ma'am. Yeah, that's how you bite your own teeth, and you do that, right? Anyway, so I would request you to please look into the video again if needed on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it. And Super Teacher team members are going to share the link of the YouTube channel and everything here on the chat. And with respect to the upcoming sessions, you will get the notification on your mail. If not, please follow Super Teacher official page on LinkedIn, or follow me on LinkedIn, or save my number. It's there on reflection form. You can directly message me and I shall be able to give all the details. And right now I'm sharing the link here on the chat in a second. Give me a minute. Yes. Okay, you should be able to see it in 3, 2, 1. Yes. Talking to children on anger is important, but they will not be mostly in the position of understanding what anger actually means until they're in 8th standard or 9th standard. So it becomes a little difficult to comprehend with the children. So for children, having a joyful learning environment created itself will reduce a lot of anger. Telling them that patience is more powerful sword than an anger sword or something like that. What would you like to have as a superpower when after 1 year or something like that? The students should probably think about it. They say that I want to become invisible and I want to do so and so. I want to have powers like Superman or Spider-Man, and that can be related immediately with yeah, you can definitely do that. And in the meanwhile, something that you can do within your limits, Spider-Man, something cannot happen right now, is that at least having patience, having empathy, having sympathy is, by the way, a negative emotion. Just wanted to establish over here. Sympathy is a negative emotion. Empathy is considered to be more positive than sympathy. Yeah. Yeah. So talking about all these things, having programs conducted by counselors to the students, ability to seek help, asking for help is the most positive thing somebody can ever have. Could be all factors relating to having good anger management things. Then, of course, it directly gets supported with conflict resolution, stress management, and all these are deeper topics of soft skills, which we'll probably touch upon on some other day. Sonia ma'am, you need to attend the reflection form, get 7 out of 10 or more than that, and you will receive the certificate onto your email ID. Yeah. Yeah. So the upcoming event section link is also present on the chat. You can check that, teachers. I'm sharing that as well. You can click on this every Thursday or Friday to know what is going to be the next session, right? Yeah. So if there is any question, you can put it on the chat, teachers. Otherwise, thank you so much. It was great interacting with one and all. I'll meet you in next Super Sunday workshop. Have a Super Sunday. Jai Hind. Thank you. Thank you, Nisha ma'am. Thank you, Ritu ma'am. Ritu ma'am, you'll get your certificates. Don't worry. If you get that score, then definitely the certificate should come to you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy life. Thank you, Vasuki ma'am. Jai Hind. Thank you. Thank you. If students can't do their homework as a teacher, how do I react? I shouldn't show my anger. Very good. So, Vijayalakshmi ma'am, here in this case, if the students are not doing the homework, uh, for example, I would talk about an incident rather than coming up with a suggestion. One teacher who's really senior said that never give homework on a holiday. Suppose if tomorrow it's Sunday, then on a Saturday, a teacher should never give homework. Tomorrow it's Sunday. Do not do any homework and do not open your textbooks. Go play with your family, play with your friends, enjoy your Sunday. I'm not going to give any homework. Try saying this statement. And then on Monday, when you come up and give the homework, students, let's have a quick homework for tomorrow. You'll see that comparatively there is an increase in number of students who have completed their homework. Yeah, this works really well. I did not believe this initially, but the case study very nicely proved that the students showed more involvement when the teacher showed empathy on the students, especially with respect to homework. And homework needs to be given in a manner so that the students are interested to do, rather than asking the students to work on probably the same exercise again in the max textbook. How about asking them to solve something from real life perspective or something in a form of game? So quizzes.com could be one of the homework that could be given to the children. So the more we work on the question of the homework, the better it is for the students to complete the homework. I hope you're able to understand. Say, like, a teacher has to undergo really a lot of R&D before giving a homework. If they do that, and when they know that during the research process that this particular aspect, if I give that to the students, they'll not do it, then let's not do it, right? So something like that. It's just an incident, ma'am, or sir, Vijayalakshmi ma'am, right? I'm not even sure if that was the right suggestion. Yeah, happy Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You will get it. Correct. Thank you, Sukhdera ma'am. You want to try being a math teacher? Okay, sure. When I get angry, I write books. Yeah, and I don't know, somehow writing gives me a lot of patience. And my parents and my teachers have told that my handwriting is really good. So somewhere that, I don't know if it's true or not, but when I look at my handwriting even now, I really feel very happy looking at it. Oh, it's a cute handwriting, it's a nice handwriting. So probably when I'm angry, I try to look into all the positive aspects that I have, that I'm confident about. So I have you know good handwriting. I speak well. I've got a very good social circle. I don't get involved in technology much. I play a lot. All these factors, the moment I think about it, I come out of that anger very easily. So anger is a very petty thing, is something, yeah. Not that I'm a saint or a monk. I also get angry. That's a very bad attitude. But yeah, certificate will be delivered to your mail ID. Great. Rupa ma'am, it will be delivered to your mail ID. Kavita ma'am, you will get it. When we know that something is wrong before taking a proper action, we get angry. Is it a needed emotion? When we know that something is wrong before taking a proper action, we get angry. Correct. No. Uh, See, anger is blocking your pathway to the solution, right? If something wrong is happening in front of you, anger is just postponing the solution to a larger date or a longer date. See, anger can come even after you tried that solution multiple times and you failed at it and you're not able to do anything. You're completely helpless. Is exactly to the time when you can actually get angry, not right after the occurrence of an incident. I hope you're getting the point, right? Yeah, that's a good idea, Nisha, ma'am. Yeah, correct. How to deal with students who come from different medium of school, new admissions are not able to understand instruction and make a mess every time. So you need to study the students, ma'am. There's no other option. What exactly is the kind of mess they are trying to create, and based on that, it's going to be a case to case work, as they've come from another medium altogether. So it's important to make sure they feel included. If they feel included, they'll not create the mess. Creating a mess is indirectly a message stating that include me. I want to be given an attention, something like that. So if that is dealt, probably you will be able to deal it. Isn't it an indication that we have to work on it? Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. That's right. You have to work on it. But with anger, if you work on it, probably the solution is getting postponed. Yes. Discipline issues. Yes. It's the major concern in India right now. Great. I'm sharing the link again. Thank you, Rupali ma'am. Thank you so much, teachers. I'm concluding for the day. Yeah, we'll be coming to Kolkata very soon, and a robotic session at Birla High School, Mukundapur. Sure, Priya ma'am, let's get into it. We'll understand anger and the emotional aspects of day-to-day life, teacher emotions as a separate topic altogether. Right during, I think, August or September, if I'm not wrong, that topic is there. And today's reflection form sessions, you can suggest your topics that you want to have a Super Sunday workshop on. Please mention that, and let's see if it could be taken. We may mainly consider the topic has to be common. It has to reach all the subject teachers out there. Instead of a subject oriented session, it should be education oriented session. Very small, crisp, cute, 1 hour. That's enough. Mohan sir, you need to fill up the reflection form. It'll come on the YouTube chat as well. It'll be there on YouTube description as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, teachers. I'll see you in the next Super Sunday workshop. Have a good time. Have a Super Sunday. Bye, everyone.